This video is about Alberta Immigrant Nominee Program and their recent draw, which was conducted today, 22nd of June 2021. And in this draw, they have invited 184 profiles from Express Entry, and the lowest CRS score for this draw was 300. Hello folks, welcome to the channel. If you're here for the first time, then my name is Kubeir and I'm an ICCRC licensed immigration consultant. This channel is the place to be if you're looking for information on Canadian immigration processes, news, updates, things that you should do and things you definitely should not. Heading over to their website, Express Entry selection for the past draws, and today's draw was 22nd of June. 184 invitations or notifications of interest, as they would call it, have been issued. Lowest CRS score was 300. And as you can see, some of their past draws as well, they have been very actively inviting CRS scores of in the range of 300, as you can see, 302, 301, 301. While scrolling on this page above here, you can also see that they have invited these NOC codes in the past. Mind you, Alberta does not announce their selection criteria, their NOC codes that they have invited, their occupations list in demand. So we usually do not come to know as to what was the criteria and on what basis did they invite people. We only come to know that because people who have received these notifications of interest, when they come out and share that information, that's how we come to know who have been invited. This web page does give you a bit of a glimpse as to who they have invited in the past, and that sort of gives you a bit of an indication if you are one of these people whose NOC codes or primary NOC codes is one of this, that you may receive an invitation from Alberta. A lot of you would know that Alberta had made this announcement in April 2020 when we were at the peak of COVID and when COVID had just hit, the pandemic had just hit, that they would no longer invite people who were not living and working in Alberta. And then Alberta announced that they will actually invite profiles based on their labor market priorities. Let's take a look at that as well. As of May 25, 2021, we have removed the temporary April 29, 2020 criteria adjustments for Alberta Express Entry stream. The criteria now in effect for the stream is set out on the eligibility page. This change means that in addition to candidates living and working in Alberta, so in addition, okay, candidates may be selected and nominated if they have an Alberta job offer. Of course, they will always give a preference to that. Or, this is the word here which you are looking for, or have experience in an occupation that will contribute to economic development and diversification in the province, which basically means that if they have a labor market requirement, then the priority will be given to those NOC codes. Unfortunately, they don't inform you what those NOC codes are, and that is what sort of always remains in our head. And just so that you get a gist of what we were talking about, these were the changes which were made on the 29th of April 2020. And in this change, under the Alberta Express Entry, they said only individuals living and working in Alberta will be considered for nomination at this point of time. This change that they had announced in April 2020 has now been reversed, and that's the good news, so that people who are outside Canada, who are Outlanders, and who have so much of hope and expectations from Alberta Immigrant Nominee Program, they can obviously now expect to receive an invitation. Well, how do you apply for Alberta Immigrant Nominee Program? You don't have to do anything different. All you need to do is be eligible for Express Entry, which basically means, and these factors are all for federal skilled workers. So yeah, have 67 points in the eligibility score, have at least 1 year of continuous work experience, have a CLB 7, which is 6666 in all IELTS or rather all language factors, and therefore you will have a CLB 7 score in your language proficiency. And the Alberta Express Entry stream eligibility criteria, as it is mentioned on their website, then lists down that you may receive a notification of interest if you have an active Express Entry profile in the Federal Express Entry pool. You have stated an interest in immigrating permanently to Alberta, which basically means you will choose either Alberta or all provinces in your Express Entry profile when creating your Express Entry profile. And you are working in an occupation that supports Alberta's economic development, which basically means your primary NOC code should be one that they have chosen for their draw, and that you have a minimum CRS score of 300. Amongst factors that will increase your chances, obviously, that if you have a job offer in Alberta, if you were studying in Canada, or if you have a brother, sister, parent, child in Alberta, this obviously will increase your chances of getting invited. But the factors that decreases your chances of being invited are if your Express Entry profile expires in 5 months or less, then you probably will not get an Alberta notification of interest. Or if you work in an occupation that has been listed in these links, which basically are there, or rather ineligible occupation. So if you are one of those whose occupation is listed in one of these lists, then you probably will not be invited. The reason why Alberta asks for your profile to be for at least 5 months, it should be valid for at least 5 months, because Alberta is one province that will not give you a nomination if your profile expires, or if you have received a nomination and if your profile expires, or if your profile becomes ineligible, then again, you will not be given a nomination again. Therefore, having an Express Entry profile which is valid for at least 5 months become extremely important. So once you do get a notification of interest, you will need to email them. The email is listed on their website. Again, you can always find that out, or you can check my video which I made on this subject earlier. You will have to complete the application process online on the Alberta portal, the details of which will be sent to you in a response on email, and you will have to make a fee payment of 500 Canadian dollars. Once your application is accepted and been assessed, you will receive nomination, you will receive your 600 points in your application, in your Express Entry profile. From there on, you will receive an invitation from IRCC in your next draw, which is quite obvious. And from there on, you will be on your way to apply for your permanent residence. Well, that's all I had for today's very short update, so I could just keep you updated about this Express Entry draw. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share and like, and I shall see you next time. Take care.